Good afternoon, students. Morphology of flowering plants. In previous class, we had a discussion at theory level. In this class, we are going to discuss about NEET and KCET level coaching part. Okay, now let us discuss one by one in detail on subtopics the flower and parts of the flower. Okay, now see the first question mark. Name the sexual reproductive unit in the angiosperms. Option A, leaf. Option B, root. Option C, stem. Option D, flower. So the correct answer is option D, flower. Why this fourth option is correct? Because in a bisexual flower or in any flowers like hibiscus, example for bisexual flower, from outside to inside, the four major parts as follows. They are present in different rings or orals. Let us see what are those. Outermost one is calyx, followed by corolla, androecium, and the innermost one is gynoecium. As we discussed earlier, androecium and gynoecium are called as sexual reproductive organs meant for production of gametes, leads to fertilization in sexual reproduction. Okay, then calyx and corolla are accessory parts. So what is the reproductive unit in a angiosperms? It is nothing but option D, flower. Next, second question. How many different kinds of orals are present in a typical flower? Option A, 3. Option B, 4. Option C, 5. And option D, none of the above. Now, the correct answer is option B, 4. Just now we had a discussion. There are 4 orals or rings are present in an angiospermic flower. The flower consisting different kinds of parts from outside to inside as follows. Calyx is the outermost part. Next, from the third oral, corolla. From the second oral, androecium. In the last oral or ring, in the innermost fourth ring, gynoecium is present. So the correct answer is option B. It is nothing but 4 orals, or also called rings. Next, third question mark. Thalamus or receptacle is a. Let us see options. A. Option thin end of the stalk. Option B, thick end of the stalk. Option C, swollen end of the stalk. And option D, all of the above. And the correct answer is option C, stalk, also called as pedicel. At the end portion, something swollen in nature or bulging in nature, and the swollen part of the stalk or pedicel, which is present at the end region, is called as thalamus. Okay, the correct answer is option C, swollen end of the stalk. Next, fourth question. Choose the accessory organs in a flower from the given below. Option A, calyx only. Option B, corolla only. Option C, androecium. And option D, both A and B. So in first and second questions, we had a discussion about this concept. In a flower, the accessory organs are calyx and corolla both together, called as accessory parts. So that's why the correct option is option D, both A and B. Understood? Next, fifth question. Pick out the reproductive organs in a bisexual flower. Option A, calyx only. Option B, androecium only. Option C, gynoecium only. And option D, both B and C. Okay, now let us see the correct option. In above question we had a discussion. about accessory organs. In this question, they asked about reproductive organs. So what are the reproductive organs in a bisexual flower? They are both androecium and gynoecium together, called as reproductive organs. They are meant for production of gametes, male and female gametes separately, and useful for fertilization. So the correct option is option D. Next, sixth question. Name the plant where there is no calyx and corolla is not differentiate. Option A, bean. Option B, gulmohar. Option C, cassia. And option D, lily. So the correct option is option D, lily. Do you know, students, in lily flower there is no differentiation of calyx and corolla, because calyx and corolla together present as a one single unit called as perianth. This is very important for NEET examination. Please make a note. Next, seventh question. When a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves in any radial plane passing through the center is termed as, options as follows: A, zygomorphic. B, actinomorphic. C, both A and B. D, none of the above. Option B, actinomorphic. Radial symmetry. In previous class we had a discussion, it is nothing but radial symmetry. If you pass one radial plane through the center portion of the flower can cut into two equal halves in any direction. Understand? So the correct option is option B, actinomorphic. It is a radial symmetry. Next, eighth question. Find out the mismatch. Okay, now let us see the options. Option A, lily and perianth. Option B, actinomorphic flower and mustard. Option C, zygomorphic flower and pea. And option D, asymmetric nature, cassia flower. So they asked mismatch in this question from the given below four options. Just now we had a discussion. Lily flower consisting perianth, we know that. Actinomorphic flower, example mustard, this is also correct option, correct pair. Next, zygomorphic flower, that nature can be seen in pea flower, that is also correct. This pair is also correct. Next, D option, asymmetric nature can be seen in kanna flower, CANNA, kanna flower. It is not in cassia flower. Understood? So the mismatch is asymmetric nature, cassia, option D. Next, ninth question. Find out the correct statement from the given below. Statements based question, very important question for competitive examinations. Now let us see the first statement. Statement A or statement 1. A flower having either stamens or only carpels is called bisexual flower. Statement 2. A flower has both androecium and gynoecium is called as unisexual flower. Now let us see the options. Option A, only statement 1 is correct. B, only statement 2 is correct. C, both the statements are correct. D, both the statements are incorrect. So the correct answer is option D, both the statements are incorrect. How it is? Now let me explain. Statement A, a flower having either stamens or only carpels is called as unisexual flower. It is not bisexual flower. Understood? Example, papaya, date palms, etc. Okay. Next, statement 2. A flower has both androecium and gynoecium is called as bisexual flower. It is not unisexual flower. Understood? Like hibiscus, marigold, etc. When the flower has both androecium and gynoecium, it is called as bisexual flower. Bi means two sexes. Both sex organs are present in it or within it. So it's called as bisexual flower. Understood? So that's why the correct option is both the statements are incorrect according to the given question. Next, 10th question. Find out the irrelevant to actinomorphic. So here some examples are given for actinomorphic nature. Let us see what are those. Option A, mustard. Option B, datura. Option C, chili. And option D, gulmohar. So here the irrelevant to actinomorphic is option D, gulmohar. Gulmohar is not belongs to actinomorphic, it is belongs to zygomorphic. Rest of the A, B, C options are there, no? Mustard, datura, chili, these are all examples for actinomorphic nature. Radial symmetry. Understood? Okay, very good. Now let us go to 11th question. In a flower, the gynoecium occupies the highest position, while the other parts are situated below it. Is called as option A, hypogynous, B, perigynous, C, epigynous, D, all of the above. So the correct answer for this question is nothing but option A. In theory class we had a discussion, even I showed that diagram also on the screen. In a flower, the gynoecium occupies the highest position. It means ovary is present in a highest position. The rest of the parts are there, no, right? Like calyx, corolla, and androecium. They are all present below to the gynoecium, below to the ovary. Understand? That kind of nature is called as hypogynosium. The phenomenon is called as hypogynous, and the ovary is called superior ovary. Understood, ma? Very good. Now, moving to 12th question. Gamocephalous nature. What is meant by gamocephalous nature? Now, let us see the options, ma. Option A, sepals are free. B, sepals are absent. C, sepals are more. D, sepals are united. So students, here the correct option is here, gamocephalous nature is sepals are united. In morning class, in previous class we had a discussion. If the sepals are united, that the nature is called as gamocephalous. Then if the sepals are free, then the nature is called as polycephalous. Understood? Very good. Now, moving to 13th question, next question. Aestivation means. Let us see the definition for aestivation. Option A, arrangement of sepals and petals on thalamus. B, arrangement of stamens. C, arrangement of carpels. D, arrangement of sepals or petals in a floral bud. Students, the correct answer for this question is option D, arrangement of sepals or petals in a floral bud. It is not on thalamus. Make sure this difference should be clear to everybody. The correct option for this aestivation definition is arrangement of sepals or petals in a floral bud. Option D. Got it? Now, moving to 14th question. It's a matching question. Very important type of asking for competitive examinations. Now, let us discuss it. Find out the correct pair from the given below. Understood? Now, let us see. Option A, valvate, Roman number 1 beans. B, twisted and cassia. C, imbricate and cotton. Option D, vexillary calotropes. Students, here the correct matching from the given ABCD as follows. We'll explain, listen very carefully, ma. From ABCD options, the correct option is option D. Why so it is? Let us discuss, ma. Option A, it means valvate. For valvate, the correct example, the correct plant is calotropes. Understood? Where the sepals or petals are just present side by side, just touching, not overlapping in calotropes. Understood? Next, twisted, where the sepals or petals are overlapping on one another. So that nature can be seen in cotton plant. Understood? Now, imbricate. In this imbricate estivation, sepals or petals are not present in any particular manner. It means one sepal or petal is completely outside, one sepal or petal is completely inside, then the rest of the sepals or petals are overlapping with each other on one another. So this type of imbricate estivation can be seen in a flower. It is nothing but cassia. Very important example. Next, vexillary. Vexillary estivation is also called as papilionaceous estivation. Can be seen in a flower, beans or peas, where there are 5 petals are present. That too, those 5 petals are 3 different types. One large standard petal is present at the top, overlapping both sides wing petals, and at bottom there are 2 keel petals which are small in size, connecting to each other with a knob. So this type of estivation is called as vexillary or papilionaceous estivation, can be seen in beans. So the correct answer for this question is option D. Understood everybody this one? Okay, now moving to 15th question. A sterile stamen is called as option A, staminate, option B, staminode, option C, pistillate, option D, pistinode. So the correct option for this question is staminode. It means the stamen cannot produce pollen grains. Pollen grains are referred as male gametes. So the stamen has a filament, a long star-like structure. At the end of the filament there is a bilobed anther consisting pollen sacs. Pollen sacs are producing pollen grains. Pollen grains referred to as male gametes. But a sterile stamen cannot produce male gametes. It is nothing but pollen grains. That type of stamen is called as staminode. Understood? So the correct answer is option B. Okay, ma? Now, moving to 16th question. Next question. How many lobes can be seen in an anther? Option A, 1, B, 2, option C, 3, option D, 4. So the correct answer for this question is option B, 2. 2 lobes can be seen in an anther of angiospermic plants called as bilobed anther. This is very, very important, called as bilobed anther. Bi means 2, hence 2 lobes are present, called as bilobed anther. Understood? Now, 17th question. When stamens are attached to the petals is called as option A, epiphyllous, option B, polyandrous, option C, epipetalous, option D, polyadelphous. So students, let us discuss about this question. Do you know in some flowers like datura, example datura, stamens are attaching to the petals up to some extent, up to some height. So that type of nature is called as epipetalous. Epi means up, petalous means petals. So the stamens are attaching to the petals since the stamens height is somewhat height in position. So the correct option for this question is option C. Understood? Now moving to 18th question. Choose the flower where there may be a variation in the length of the filaments within it. Let us see options, ma. Option A, salvia, B, mustard, C, pea, and option D, both A and B. Students, do you know in flowers like salvia and mustard, the stamens are vary in filaments height? How it is, ma? Some stamens are short in length of the filament. Some stamens are having medium height of the filaments. Some stamens are having long height of the filaments. So they are showing variations in the length of the filaments within it only, within the single flower only. What are those flowers? Salvia and mustards. So the correct option is option D. Next question. Ray florets of sunflower shows. Option A, half inferior ovary. Option B, inferior ovary. Option C, superior ovary. Option D, all the above. The correct answer for this question is option B, inferior ovary. It means the ovary position or the gynoecium position is completely in low at position, bottom at position. At the rest of the floral parts are present above the ovary, like Calyx, corolla, and rosum are present above the ovary. So this type of nature can be seen in sunflower, especially ray florets exhibits this nature. Next, last question in this session. Let us discuss 20th question. Reduced leaf is also called as option A, pedicel, B, bract, C, thalamus, D, sepal. So the correct answer for this question is option B, bract. So leaf is reducing to bract, which presents at the base of the leaf. If the bracts are present, that nature is called as bractate, like in hibiscus flower, example hibiscus flower. If the bracts are absent, that the nature is called as ebractate. The nature is called as ebractate. Example like in citrus. So with this question we have completed today's session. Hope you understood. Thank you one and all.